Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equities Story. I'm with the one and only Wolfie, and this is just a general share advice and not personal advice. Oh, Wolfie. How are you doing, Wolfie?
Very good. Thank you very much. Bit of a roller coaster last night on the Nasdaq and the Dow.
Yeah, I know, because I think I woke up at 5 and it all looked quite good. I thought, oh, yeah, and I watched the talk a little bit, and I seen the Fed boss talking. It sounded quite good, but then towards the end, he scared everyone a little bit, and bang, down it goes again.
It's amazing how investors hold on to his every word, isn't it? It's like, I'm going to go out for dinner. Oh, sell everything. Oh, I'm going to the toilet. Oh, buy everything. It's amazing, isn't it? That little word comes out of his mouth and it drives the markets significantly, makes fortunes and loses fortunes for people. But at the end of the day, what did he say? Same thing that he's been saying all along, right? That we need to fight inflation, that there might be some more interest rate rises if the inflation doesn't die down. And maybe what the market got really disappointed with, because they're maybe expecting that there's going to be a pause and potentially a turnaround in cutting interest rates over the year. But he dispelled those pretty quickly. We're saying that there's definitely not going to be any interest rate cut. In fact, he's probably thinking that inflation and high interest are here to stay for a little longer than people anticipate. And I think that's the reason why the market's probably reversed course right at the end.
Well,
it's normal. I mean, that's the thing. What we should expect, right?
Well, definitely. I mean, the Fed, the American banking system's got problems. The Fed are printing as hard as they can.
But you know, it's just amazing how investors are so jumpy and I don't know. It's just got that sell buy mentality on a daily basis. It's just crazy. Take a longer term view, peeps. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, we got a banking crisis. It's like we're talking about. You know, we had a banking crisis back in 2008, and from cheap money, and we got the same problem. But I think, like you said, we're a little bit hopefully better prepared to deal with it.
Yeah, I think we are, and I think they're already moving much quicker than they did before. Right, before they were like going flailing around and didn't know what to do. But this time around, I think they're going to act much quicker, with much more purpose.
Well, we got QE. We've had QE1, QE2. So is this QE3 or 4?
Oh, we could have QE 4, 5, 6, 7. You just don't know, right? But the thing is, I think we're definitely much better placed than we were back then. So I don't think we're going to have a full-blown crisis like we had GFC. But there'll be ripples for sure, and we've seen it already. And I saw again the first bank, America going down another 15% last night. So there's on a daily basis, there's something that keeps popping up that investors are either buying or selling or smashing it down. So it's a funny old time right now, Dave, which is good for gold, because we'll probably have to speak about that again.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hold on at the moment. But now let's have a look at a story that, okay, if we are going into tough times, this is a story that you would argue, Wolf, you'd want to be holding. So talk us about BKW and about the announcement today.
Well, go back for me, if you can, please, to 2007. So you can see that long-term thesis, because I'm going to make a long-term thesis call here on this story, right? It's a great story long-term. It's been raising its dividends pretty much all this time through. GFC, not GFC, you name it, right? Rail, hail, or shine. They are performing pretty well. With, year to year can have a fluctuation here, but they're fairly confident in what they're doing. So the management is top class here, BKW. It's a cheap story. So, today's results, I think, underlines the fact that they are very good operators. I like the business overall, and it's got so much bloody value locked in there, Dave. When you look at it, pretty much they said what they've got $2.7 billion worth of SOL on their books, yet the company's whole value, market cap's 3.4. So 700 million is attributed to everything else they've got, which is a bit crazy. And, maybe, Dave, maybe they'll never unlock that value, right? Because it's obviously like a cross ownership. So possibly there'll never be a takeover of them, or they might never sell that stake. But it also acts for an investor as almost like a safety mechanism. So if something goes awry and you've got to liquidate all the assets, you're going to get your money back. You're pretty safe, right? Because all they need to do is sell Sol's share holding, and there's your money back that you've invested. Everyone will get paid pretty much. So, I like the story long term. I think you can make a case because it's not expensive. So if I extrapolate 12-month target, I think it's trading on about 10 times. So let's forget out that they're showing that they're trading on 4. I think if you take the 12-month period, it's going to be about 10 times for me, with about 4.5% yield. So for me, growth, cheap, and you've got the dividend as well. So almost like one of those little, BRIs or other stocks that we looked at, which we'll talk about in a sec, right? But it sort of goes in but it's a big story. So I like it. I like the fact that there's a big story you can put in your portfolio long term. The dividends almost guaranteed they're going to go up on a yearly basis. Thank you, mother, for the rabbits.
So at the moment, that's 4% grossed up.
Yeah, 4.5 grossed up. Yeah.
4.5 grossed up. Okay, let's put that in. So really long-term investment for the really a 10-year. I suppose you'd be looking at a 10-year investment out of this. Really, it's
100%. You got to look at it long term. So I'm always looking at a monthly, right, which is quite good. And yeah, like I said, you just got to ride it through the ups and downs on a yearly basis, and there will be ups and downs. You can see this is not a perfect chart, but generally speaking, it's going up.
Okay. I mean, that's really the standout story, isn't it, today? And so how does that compare then? So you've got Sols, and if I'm looking at Sols again, Sols, it's got that great long-term chart, Wolfie. We've often said this is, and if I look at that chart, it looks quite interesting, actually. It's bouncing off the trend line, not far off a buy signal. Do you prefer this in the short term?
I prefer BKW because it's an easier business to understand. Now Sol, after that Milton merger, it's a very diversified conglomerate. So they own businesses, they invest in businesses, they've got a funds business as well. So to me, it's starting to become a little bit complicated, right? Still a great business. So I'm not, and I'm not saying, I suppose, I don't want to be too negative on this because I still like what they're doing. And of course, they've got a huge stake in BKW. But overall, I think, while you probably you can like both and probably invest in both, if I had a preference, I'd just go to BKW. It's much cleaner, much easier to understand.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Now, Oz Forex. On the face of it, looked like some good numbers, Wolf, but there's something in that announcement the market don't like, and down she goes, 8.7%. What are we missing here?
Look, I think, first of all, I think it didn't look like that bad at all. So the group expects to deliver an EBITDA of about 62 million. And I think they were talking about that they were going to deliver what they promised. But I think maybe from what's happening globally, financial banking sector, there's a bit of turbulence going on at the moment. Maybe there's a bit of nervousness going on. I probably need to have a read through it to see which exactly point did the market really get nervous about or didn't like. But it should have been out a long time ago anyway. So,
yeah, look, as soon as it broke trend, but yeah, okay, this disappointing and not too sure why it's going down, but stay away from it.
Definitely do not touch it. I think this market right now is not conducive for this OFX to do well anyway. Right. So pass.
Okay, so WR1 came out with some not bad drill results, but what your general feeling is the FOMO's gone.
Yeah, the FOMO's sitting on the sidelines for the moment. Just actually bring up the results for me, because I just want to point out the fact that these results are better probably than all the results here in Australia. So these are still excellent results overall, and probably will beat most results that we've seen recently in Australia. But just sees how strong these results are, but not as good probably as Patriots, but still very good. Like 1.6 over 47, 1.35 over 55, 1.26 over 60, right? So it's not as good as what they've had previously, what they've shown previously, but it's still, like I said, better than a lot here in Australia. So I can see the farmers going, well, it's not super duper incredible, crazy, like all the stuff that they had previously with, Patriots, probably even better. So I can see the reasoning why the farmers are probably staying away. Anyway, the market's a little bit nervous. So it definitely did more for the farmers to get into this. But still, I like it. I think they've got definitely a bright future if they can keep coming with those sort of the results. And you know what? Over time, it'll probably settle somewhere, and it's got better chance than most to get up on this result.
Okay, good. That's a good tick of approval for a long-term investor, maybe into that sort of story. So Sigma Healthcare, breaking down below trend at the moment. I wouldn't be panicking yet if I was in it, but maybe if it looked like this by the end of the week. But it wasn't that bad, Wolf, was it?
No, it's actually, there's an improvement quite a lot, right? Across the bottom line and everything else, but possibly the market didn't see enough in that, and the outlook's probably again not good enough. I mean, I don't follow the story that closely, but I like to just have a look at the improvements that the company makes, and there seems to be quite a lot. But you can see it's not trending, it's not doing anything. So if you're in it, don't panic yet, like you said, Dave. I think just wait till tomorrow. But you know, it just wasn't enough, was it? If the result was good, it would go up.
And Weebit, surprise.
Oh. Where do I start with this one, Dave? All right. So first of all, why is the share price going up? You know, people are going, this is great story, fantastic. But you can see what's been happening. I'd say, you know, anyway, I'm just extrapolating here. They're pushing someone's been pushing their price up to get a very good capital raise underway, right? It happens a lot, unfortunately. So last 2 weeks have been falling. ASX goes in and goes, what's going on, guys? And guess what? Confession time. After ASX has said, oh yeah, we're capital raising. So not only, you know, the insiders got wind of it, that they're going to be capital raising, so they are selling out and leave everyone else in the dark. Then, you know, the ASX had to catch them out on that. I mean, holy moly. I wouldn't touch it with a 6-foot pole, to be honest.
So did they say who they're going to be raising?
No, it's just gone into trading hold right now. I mean, they're probably scrambling around trying to put an announcement together.
It's a lot of money, 45 million. And obviously looking to get it underwritten. Or they say.
So I mean, am I skeptical? What do you reckon, Dave? I mean, does it look a bit sus? The share price action.
Yeah.
Let's push the price up so we can get a very good capital raise as high as we can, and yeah, off we go.
It's listen, pretty appalling. But I mean, but you know what? Often you find if this sort of thing goes on, it can kill the momentum, Wolf.
Yeah, and I think it has. I mean, there you go. I mean, it's you know, down what, 20% since it had $8.
All right, let's
for
have
a trader. Holy moly, it's so difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, except the ones in the know, right? That's
this is what the frustrating bit is. This is what I'm really angry about. That obviously insiders got wind of it, and the mums and dads are the ones who are probably going to suffer now.
There you go. It's the first time I had a decent red candle on that march up. Right. So, Mr. Wolfie, one bit of good news. Our hot stock, BRI, break up, looking very, very good, and another sort of share advisory company. I've put this on as a buy. Yep. Very good.
Yeah. Look, it just adds, I suppose, another set of eyes to look at this price. To look at BRI. So there you go. You've got maybe now 2 or 3 different companies looking at BRI and probably adding small little parcels to it. So more support. Great for our shareholders. Great for obviously what we look at.
Wolfie, actually, when you look at also Big River, you know, I understand why they put it as buy. It's still giving a nice little dividend of 5.6%. It's still just trading 9 times. There's still a lot of value in there, isn't there?
There is, absolutely. And the only question I've got is, how are they going to fare in this crazy little market that we might have over the next few months? One hopes because it's cheap enough that it can, do quite well and it pays a good dividend. So, maybe there's a bit of safety there, but it's probably the results that I'm a little bit more worried about, that, if we do have a recession, how are they going to navigate through that? But, saying that, look at it, they've been going quite well. So at the moment, I'm definitely glass half full. I like this a lot.
All right, now just have a look. CIA, BHP, Rio, iron ore's down slightly, 5% this week. So some of the iron ore stocks just having a little bit of a dip. But I wouldn't, if I was in CIA, I'd still be holding it. I'd maybe look where it's tomorrow and then maybe make a decision.
But just keep an eye close out on the iron ore because it's down 5% for the week. So if we have another fall probably tomorrow, say, we could see an acceleration of that. So just be wary. Maybe Friday is the day to pull the trigger if the iron ore keeps falling. But let's watch the charts.
Now, Wolfie, you got something very special coming for us tomorrow.
Do I?
The Wolf's page.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I had to have. I still have to look because they were working on it, so I need to just go through it, and it will be like a summary of what happened during the week. So I'm going to have like not a top 10, but 10 categories that I'm going to populate with the story of the week, dividend story of the week, stuff like that. So I'm going to make it a little bit fun, and hopefully you're going to just get a bit of a summary of what we were thinking for the week and what we found interesting and good and bad to a point.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that, and it's very nice because it's a nice little roundup of the week's videos as well. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, thanks, Wolfie. Have a good day, champion.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.